This is Flameland, my short, cute, colorful 2D platformer, and this video is my 4th devlog, and today's devlog is not a reflection as much as it is updates and a preview of where this game could be going, but also a little reflection because I really can't help myself. We'll go over 2 updates, new mini-levels and new transitions. So first, the mini-levels. I made this video a while back on Kirby's Adventure in which I suggested what made it fun was the variety. And in particular, the thing I kept thinking about was the variety and types of gameplay. Bosses and mini-bosses felt different from minigames, felt different from the micro end-of-level game, felt different from the main game. And I wanted that. In fact, minigames have been on my wishlist since I first started Iteration 5. But how to do minigames? I really wanted a change in gameplay, but unable to conceive of how to convey a new rule set, I began to think up ideas for a bonus level where you could use the main mechanics to collect rings in a safe area. I hoped the safety would make it feel less intense, and the ring collecting would be different enough to provide some variety and break up the game a bit. But then inspiration struck. I could convey a new rule set by having you enter a video game. Maybe I was inspired by this claw game in Kirby, I don't know. And I love these. I made them over summer, and some tweaks may be necessary in the future, put it on my to-do list, but at the core, they are fun, mostly fair, and challenging. More importantly, they are short gameplay diversions. But I still had that idea for the Collect Rings minigame, and in fact, the minigames on the TV kinda introduced the concept of rings for me already, so why not both? Today, I have uploaded a version of Flameland with these Collect the Rings minigames. They appear after level 3, but before the castle. The dinosaur level has been on my wishlist for a while, since I liked the dinosaur theme back in Prototypes 2 and 3, and had been working on a dinosaur level in Prototype 4. And because of that work in Prototype 4, I already had the sprite work. Plus, although I'd already done the swinging platforms, I hadn't yet done any more straightforward platforms that just move horizontally. And this cloud one was interesting. I was thinking about how some Mario Maker creator had mimicked the dash boost in Celeste with dry bones shells that you jumped out of, and so I was thinking about a power-up that could give you a double jump. I didn't want to do a shoe because that was too Mario. I started to experiment with a skateboard, but I felt like the skateboard should speed you up, and then the emphasis seemed to be on the speed rather than the double jump, so I settled on a cloud. And although the level background resembles some of the stuff I was trying to do in the Highlands, I think it looks somewhat distinct with the rainbows, and I really like this jet plane. I used the same bonus bar at the bottom to help convey that this was a minigame like the TV minigames, and not a real level. I'm not sure these are an unambiguous success. I feel like the other minigames, though intense and difficult, were different enough to feel like a break in intensity. These mini-levels were meant to be a break, and for that reason they're impossible to die in. But if you're going for a high score, they are still difficult and easy to mess up, even for me, who has tested them over and over and over. I wonder if I might change what bonuses are awarded. Like, right now, filling the bonus bar gives you diamonds, which are directly linked to your score, so if you're going for a high score run, you have to fill the bonus bar all the way. But maybe it wouldn't feel as necessary to fill the bonus bar if the high reward was a fire power-up or maybe a bubble shield. My worry is that most casual players will care more about the fire power-up than the diamonds. That is, it would make the level less intense for high-skill players and more intense for low-skill players. The other thing I was considering was whether to let you scroll the screen faster by moving faster, something that I think would appeal to someone speedrunning the game, and I have this code to let you do it seamlessly. However, realistically, I'll be the only one speedrunning my game, and I don't mind the 20-second auto-scroll level. Also, when I turn the code on, I think it makes it easier for casual players to scroll the screen accidentally. Maybe I'll come back to this, maybe I'll write code that lets you scroll the screen forward if you're at the very far right edge, so casual players won't accidentally scroll the screen. More for my to-do list! Anyway, right now the code's off and it's just an auto-scroll. If you get the chance to try out these levels, let me know what you think. I'm hoping you find them less intense than a regular level, but are they significantly less intense, or are they still pretty intense? Heck, maybe they're even more intense than a regular level, though I don't think so, but I don't know. One more thing I'm considering is putting unlockable characters as rewards in these bonus bars, so you get another life before the final level. I don't think I'd want to require a max score for the unlockable characters though, because I fear that would increase the intensity. Maybe that bonus bar has that fire power-up for 11 rings where it already is, a secret character for 15 rings, and another fire power-up for 20 rings. We'll see. Okay, part 2, level transitions. I have been obsessed with level transitions since I first noticed the very showy ones in Sonic 3, and then I noticed the subtler way Mario Bros. Connects levels, with the castle at the end of the level appearing at the beginning of the next one. I wanted to do a Mario Bros. Style transition. Now, since I want you to pick your level, I made it so every level ends in a blank space that you color in at the level select screen. But then I added this effect. See how it scrolls over? I love this. I'm so happy with myself. Sorry, if it wasn't clear already, this devlog is my place to brag about doing very basic video game stuff. I know this isn't impressive or anything, but look at it! It feels so satisfying. Maybe not to you, who didn't have to painstakingly line up the sprites in the editor to make the scroll look good, but to me it's satisfying. And I think it makes it feel like one continuous place, like the level ended and the characters walked forward, and now we're scrolling forward to see where they walked to. Okay, but that was summer stuff. What's new today? So first, I made a transition from the level select screen. Sorry, the level select screen is also something added over the summer. You unlock it by beating the game once. Okay. Anyway, now there's this transition from the level select screen. New today. Second, in Prototype 4, I added these fade transitions when you enter doors. I added them because they were in Kirby's Adventure, and I thought they smoothed out the transition from room to room. But then, a glitch. My laptop wouldn't run the transitions unless I updated it, and then it stopped running them again, and then it started again. From what I can tell, they run for everyone else. Anyway, I noticed when it started running the fade transitions, the game felt slower, but when it stopped, I never noticed that it had stopped. So these fade transitions did more harm than good. So I went back in, and one by one, I edited the fade out transitions so they no longer take 34 hundredths of a second, they only take 11 hundredths of a second. And I know the increments are weird, but I think this feels a lot better. Maybe later I will take them out entirely, I don't know yet. They are doing some extra work to smooth things out, by the way. There's this black screen in the last level that determines what rooms to put in the castle based on your route through the game, and the transition renders it unnoticeable. But on the other hand, if I didn't have them, I could edit the level endings and make the transition to the level select screen seamless. Which, as you might be able to guess from my rant earlier about my transitions into levels, would really appeal to me and really just be the icing on the cake. And I could do some extra coding so that black screen wouldn't be as necessary in the castle. We'll see how I feel about the fade out after my computer breaks and fixes itself again. So part 3, what's next? This is speculation, and dangerous speculation. I change my mind all the time on what I want, but I think I want 4 of these ring levels, so 2 more of them, as a nice symmetry to the 4 minigames in the TV. Maybe I can use the skateboard somehow. And I think I want to make the last level a little longer. Maybe I'll add a courtyard room that reflects your choice of ring level. Separately, I like how Smash Bros. Tells you how far into the game you are, and I've been thinking about adding something like that to the level select screen, but at some point I have to make a way for you to unlock the other dragons, so maybe adding another first level option, and some way to unlock some dragons from the ring levels. Maybe, very maybe, there will be another second or third level option as well. Oh, and I need to balance the dragons. Oh, and I need to make the buildings. Right now, only one of the buildings gets complete, and that's the level select building. So there's a lot to go, and it'll take a while, but I feel like a session length is really solid. I really want the sessions to be quick but juicy, like Kirby's Dream Land. And in the end, I think my sessions are quicker and juicier. But I really like how that juiciness makes the game feel longer. I could add a touch of length to the castle, but I don't think I want more levels in a session now that I've added the ring levels. But I also have this idea for medals that I would like some feedback on. See, to me, Flameland is a game that tries to use a collectathon element of finding all the dragons and finding all the exits to give respite to the arcadey loop at the core. I think the buildings will be unlockable by finding the exits, and maybe there will be another building for finding all the dragons, or a room in a building for finding all the dragons as a nice extra bonus. But I've been toying with the idea of another collectible, these medals, which would be more akin to achievements. Now I try to marry these two sides of Flameland, the collectathon and the arcade. The dragons you find in the collectathon are extra health in the round you are currently playing, and are also new characters to try in future rounds. In the same vein, if you're trying to play the arcade game optimally, you should be trying to find all the exits anyway, so you can figure out which one works best for you, and on which one you can score the highest score. So for achievements, I was thinking of doing something like the medals at the end of Fruit Ninja's arcade mode. Maybe you could get bonus points in a round for things like Deathless or Pacifist, or even things like using one type of dragon. So the medals would be bonus points in an individual round, but from a collectathon perspective, they're new ways to play the game, new ways to try playing the game. Even if Pacifist would never really be a viable strategy for the highest scores, it still kind of ties into the arcade mode this way. And maybe in one of the buildings you unlock on the start screen, I could put a trophy case that kept track of your achievements. It could even tell you how much all the different achievements are worth in terms of bonus points, so you can try to get all the achievements to see which ones you want for your optimal route. But as much as I like this idea, I'm hesitating because many of the achievements I've thought of so far, like Deathless or Max Combo or Under 5 Minutes, are things you'd already be going for naturally when you're trying to get a high score. So I'm not sure it would add gameplay depth. And in terms of the length, although it doesn't lengthen the session, it does lengthen the 100% requirements, and I don't know if it's a fun lengthening. Like, I want to try a pacifist run at my game because I'm obsessed with my game, but I don't know if most players should or would even enjoy that. And just like I want to be cognizant of having a session length that's really enjoyable, I also want to make sure that the game length is enjoyable. I'd rather a completionist put the game down wanting more than put the game down bored out of their skull. But this is so far down on my to-do list, and by the time I get to it, my ideas about it will probably have changed significantly. If you have any thoughts on it though, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear your thinking because it's going to generate mine a little bit more. And especially leave comments if you have ideas for medals. I already mentioned Pacifist and Deathless and all the same type of dragon, but I'm looking for more. Because if I decide to do some version of this, I want to have some really creative ones. Anyway, thank you for joining me. You can find a link to the game in the comments if you want to try it, and have a good day.